Check. What's going on? Check. Check, Chiefs Kingdom. What's happening? Check. What's going on? Check. What's going on? Check. Time to go live. Let's do it. Hey there, hi there, ho there. What's going on, Chiefs Kingdom? I'm going to double check to make sure my sound is coming through on the monitor so we don't have a show with no host talking. Sounds good. My little microphone thing's not messing it up either. I have a little voice modulator that changes things. Welcome to Chiefs Chat, guys. It's a weird time for the show. It's the morning. I wanted to do a show yesterday. Schedules would not allow. So here we are. Your host, Thunder Dan, not to be mistaken for the long-lost Kelsey brother. If I was, I'd be older than Jason, I'd be chubbier than Travis, and I'd be shorter than both at my mere 6 feet tall. They're both taller than I am. Anyway, what's going on? There's a lot of stuff happening. First of all, I wanted to talk about a new channel on X that is for Chiefs Group. It's a new Chiefs group called Uplift the Kingdom. If you guys want to check it out, there's some people in there right now. A lot of people are chatting. I don't know what the membership situation is now. You might have to be invited. If you do need to be invited, let me find the page for you. I'm going to go over to the preview screen and show you the page, actually. Make it a lot easier for all of us. There's me, and the video player screen will be up in a moment. Is this guy. Okay. That the one? That's the one. But I got to move that page. Uplift the Kingdom. And the host of the channel is... Oh, I had him right here and he's gone. Dang it. Shucks and gee willikers. The host of the channel is... Where are you? Can't remember the name of the guy that invited everyone. I had another window with his stuff in it. It's not the Daily Chief. Let me see here. There's a lot of people in there right now, though. If you go to Uplift the Kingdom or search Uplift the Kingdom on X, you should be able to find it. Let me see if it has a group leader here, a group host leader. The channel's called Uplift the Kingdom. It was I don't know what I'll do. I'll go all the way to the top. Whoop. If I can. It's so much chat in here now. This is a passionate fan base. If you didn't already know, now you know. Go into this chat and you'll see how many people there are. The thing I love about it is they've created a chat base for people to get together and talk positively and talk about things that uplift the kingdom. Obviously, it's in the title because there's just too many negative Nellies. We got a kingdom full of people, so it's going to happen. But we got some people that can really be downers, and especially this time of year, especially after a season like we just had. That's not the time or place for downers. We don't need that. I'm just zipping through text here to find the host of the channel so you guys can approach him. Give me a second here. There's a lot of talk back and forth. Will it be Bailey? Will it be Bane? Should we go Tate? Should we go Caleb Downs? Maybe Sonny Styles? Would they shock the world and draft Jeremiah Love? Anything's possible. Anything could happen. If you doubt Veach will surprise, you'll be surprised. We've had people in here talking about drafts that were better and worse in the past. People saying they think the draft next year is going to be better than this year. I think it was Louis Riddick. I want to give credit where credit's due. I'm not positive, but I think it was Louis Riddick who said recently, while this year's draft there's not a lot of stars, there's a lot of starters. It's loaded with starters, and I agree. There's a lot of really good players. Will they be stars or not? This is the other thing too. We don't know how many of these really good players will become stars. We don't know how many of these potential stars or really good players will have their career derailed by bad teams, by injuries, by bad coaching, improper usage. Anything can happen. But there's a lot of starter caliber players in this draft, which is fantastic for a team like ours, who have been great for a good number of years, had a down year, and are shockingly in a position to draft in the top 10. And there's no way in the top 10 we're not getting a great player if we stay there, unless we reach. So, of the guys that are up there, I've heard many people say this guy's not going to, Bane's not going to drop, Bailey's not going to drop, Bane's not going to drop, Bailey's not going to drop, Downs not going to drop, Styles isn't going to drop, Mansoor maybe doesn't belong there, or he's not going to drop. If you like Lemon, I don't have Lemon up there. Tate, that's 7. Who else? Bane. There's so many guys. You can't squeeze more than 8 people between pick 1, which is likely 99.9999999% going to be Fernando Mendoza to the Raiders, and then our pick at 9. You can't fit more than 7 players in between there. So look at the draft. This will help you. I always want people to breathe, because pre-draft, every expert is pushing people up the charts Agents are pushing people off the charts. Coaches are doing coach speak, subterfuge. I've used that word a couple times the last few days to remind people there's a lot of fibbing going on. There's people saying nonsensical things to try to get people to look that way when they want to go this way. I'm still finding the host here. I probably skimmed over it, or he might have changed his icon. I'm not sure. But the host is awesome to set this page up. Look for it. Uplift the Kingdom. Look for it in your groups. And you'll be glad you did, because a lot of good people in here talking a lot of good football. Point is, with the draft, there's always, by the time the draft rolls around, there'll be 60 to 70 players that at some point along the way, pundits, experts, football coaches, everybody who thinks they know everything, which is why, of course, Tom Brady lasted until round 6. So all these people will have 60 to 70 players who at some point, maybe more, who were declared guaranteed first rounder. Got to be in the first round. It'll happen. There'll be outliers. There'll be people that there's only a couple of people that say it, but they'll say it about a certain guy. There'll be teams that reach. There'll be teams that fall in love with a guy who's probably going to be there at 40, but he won't make it out of top 20 because a certain team falls in love with that player, and that's okay if that player fits your system. Getting back to the previous drafts conversation we were having in the chat, in this chat, the Daily Chief. That's who set it up. Check out the Daily Chief. Follow the Daily Chief. Why is it unfollowed? It must be a different account. Follow the Daily Chief. Daily Chief is put this group together, and it's fantastic. It's awesome stuff. Going back to the group. Let's see what it says here. The latest chat we have here right now is I hope Royals really shows out, and I hope Worthy takes that next step this year. We were supposed to see Elite last year, but unfortunately got injured. I agree. I totally agree. I think Royals is going to show out. I think Royals didn't play at the end of last year because they were like, this season is doomed. We've been snake bitten all year. What could make it worse? Play a receiver who we know is really good and going to be a depth guy and going to be a good, maybe a top 3 receiver for us next year, and he gets injured at the end of the season. That would be awful. So I think as much as anything, the coaches are probably protecting him. Worthy is awesome. Worthy's fantastic. If you need proof of what Worthy can do, go watch the second half of the Super Bowl against the Eagles and watch what he's capable of doing when Mahomes gets more than a half a second to throw the football. Okay? Combine him with a guy like Tate or a guy like Boston or guys later in the draft, guy like Jacoby Lane or some other big, long guys that can like draw more attention. We have Kenneth Walker in the backfield now. So go ahead and put 8 guys in the box and see what Worthy and Kelsey and all the other guys do to you. We're going to have a receiving core that's going to be much more effective than last year. Health, outstanding. Health's got to be a thing. Okay? But if these guys stay healthy, our receiving core is going to be better next year. What's going on with Rashee Rice? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe nothing. Maybe he gets suspended for some games. Maybe we don't get him to play. We don't have him playing all year. Maybe they move him. I don't know. We don't know what they know inside the building, and I trust the brass to handle it. Trust me, 0 Super Bowls in my existing life on this planet until I was a man of a certain age, and then 5 out of 6 years. And we won 3 of those. I'm good. I trust this brass. This is unlike any franchise, including the Patriots. The Patriots are the closest thing. But 6 Super Bowls in 5 years? That's crazy pants. And Patrick is 30 and not going anywhere, not declining in skill. People that are worried about Patrick. Let's talk about Patrick really quickly. People that are worried about Patrick coming back. Yes, I know it's medical. There's stuff happens. You never know. You forget all that nonsense, okay? We're in a perfect world. We're blessed by God. Everything's great. He has no setbacks. People talk about Brady in 2008, I think it was, when he tore his knee. Talk about Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson came back from a worse injury at a running back position, which is much harder on your knees. And he was injured December 24th. You know what he did the following season? He came back. He started week 1. He ran for over 2,000 yards and won the MVP of the league. While they're not the same guy, Adrian Peterson's a freak at the running back position, a unicorn. Patrick Mahomes is a unicorn at the quarterback position. And I don't think he's any less motivated than Adrian Peterson was. But let's take a much more natural comparison. Let's go to quarterback. Let's go much more recent. Okay? Joe Burrow, a number of years ago, foreshadowing for you. Tore his knee up. Worse injury than Patrick Mahomes. Had his surgery, I think, December 2nd that year. Okay? Patrick's was like December 12th or 14th, something like that. What did Joe Burrow do the next year? Joe Burrow started week 1. He ended our season at Arrowhead in the AFC Championship, the one out of those 6 years that we didn't go to the Super Bowl, and he went to the Super Bowl against the Rams and almost won it. So if you know Patrick Mahomes like I think I know Patrick Mahomes, if you don't think that his floor of what his goals are is win the AFC Championship, that's the basement. His goal is get all the way back. Get back there and be, I'm all the way up, and just like shut up all the haters, all the naysayers. I believe Patrick Mahomes is back week 1. Now, we have a new backup in town, and his name is Justin Fields. And this is a very interesting, at first I was like, huh. And then I was like, oh, okay, wait a minute. So is this going to mean we got Kenneth Walker? We grabbed DeMarcado. I like DeMarcado. I like DeMarcado as a third down, scat back, like not a every down backup. I still think we need to draft a guy, or, if Love ends up falling, and I'll show you a draft later, and I know you think I'm crazy. A lot of people think I'm crazy. Anything can happen. It's the draft. It gets nuts sometimes. Okay? Sometimes people, not pointing any silver and black fingers, draft punters or kickers really, really high in the draft first couple of rounds. It's happened before. I'm not saying we're doing that. I'm just saying you need more than one running back. Okay? And there's one guy at running back in this draft who's different. He's on his own tier. He's on the elite tier, pass blocker. And people that say he can't protect the passer, you haven't watched his tape. Okay? He's as good a pass pro guy as Marcus Allen was. He reminds me of Marcus Allen. He moves like Marcus Allen. He can catch the ball out of the backfield a la Marcus Allen, and he's one of the best runners. And he ran 4.3 and change at 6 foot, 216 pounds at the combine, which is freaking nuts. So that's Jeremiah Love. I did a draft, I'll show you after, where I tried to trade back, and we still got him. Anyway, I think we need another back regardless. There's other backs I like. I'm trying to talk fast because I got to go pick somebody up in about an hour, less than an hour. So we'll try to make this concise. There's other backs I like. I like Mike Washington Jr., reminds me of Steven Jackson. I like Jonah Coleman, Mr. Contact Balance. Watch his tape, guys. This guy, I watched his tape. I'm like, who's he remind me of? And I'm like, picturing Maurice Jones-Drew. He's a little bigger, a little heavier, fast, bounces off people, stays upright. Just like ping-ponging off people. It's great. And the last one, wild card, interesting. I was like, this guy could be a real great scat back for. This guy could be what we hoped Brashard Smith is. Brashard Smith, I hope he does what he said he's going to do. He's going to gain weight and become a real NFL-sized running back. He knows he needs to be thicker. He needs to be stronger. But getting to a smaller guy who's thick and fast and strong. Watch Damond Claiborne, the kid who had like one or two people at his press conference at the combine, and it was also, they posted the sad photo. There's nobody around. I watched that guy's tape. That dude, and his former coach at Wake Forest said his moves, his jump cuts, his stop and change direction and explosive into his top gear reminded him of Brian Westbrook. Okay, and that kid, Damond Claiborne, he reminds me. His game, not just his jump cut, but his actual game, the way he plays, the way he runs. I saw Darren Sproles all over that kid. So these are older names, some of them. Go watch your tape. These are some of these running backs that could be there after the 4th round and later. So I don't expect we're going to get Jeremiah Love. I don't expect they're aiming to draft Jeremiah Love. But if they get in a position where he falls to a certain point, how far does he fall where you go, it's just too good of a value? We got all these extra picks, and he's still there, and we're not going to take him? I'll show you later. Bury the lead, or not bury the lead, not foreshadowing, what is it, a tease. But quarterback, we signed Justin Fields. And I'm looking at that going, got Justin Fields, got Kenneth Walker in the backfield. Are we bringing back I formation on special situations? Are we bringing back short yardage quarterback sneaks? Are we bringing back goal line dives? Because we're not going to risk Patrick to do that, but Justin's got that in his game. Both handing off from the I formation and taking it himself. So it's an interesting package that he could bring to this team. Not to mention, I think with Andy Reid's guidance, he could rejuvenate his career. He really could. If you don't believe me, go ask Nick Foles. Nick Foles was this close to out of the league. Done. I'm over it. I'm finished with football. Played great at the Eagles. 27-2 season. Touchdown interception ratio. 27-2. Okay? And then a couple years of Chip Kelly screwing up that team. He's out of Philly. He goes to the Rams. Jeff Fisher screws his career up. He's about to leave the league, and he's like, don't retire. Come back up, Alex. Don't retire. Come back up, Alex Smith. We'll get you back on track. He comes in for a couple of games that season. One in particular was a cheap shot in Indianapolis, where they knocked Alex out, and he had to come in. Balls out. Just plays great. Goes to Philadelphia, beats Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. And what do the Philly Eagles do again? A couple years later with Carson Wentz. Oh, we got to get rid of him because, Carson Wentz is potential. Potential to do what? Win the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl MVP? Nick just did that. Some teams don't think with this. They think with their ego. And they think with, I can make that guy better than that guy. And that guy can do things that guy has already done. Yes, he's already done it. Some guys with certain teams are just better with certain teams. I don't think Justin Fields has found that team. Maybe he won't. Maybe if he went back to a Bears-type team now with a Gus Johnson now. Not Gus Johnson, that's the commentator. You know what I mean. The Coach Johnson at the Bears. That's his first name. Anyway, if you went to a team like that now, he'd be in a much better situation. That's a coach that would know how to use him properly, I think. I think Andy will help fix him. I think they'll get him back on track. And at the very least, I think he's a guy that can come in and not lose games for us. I think he's a guy that can come in and create some interesting packages. And people that were scoffing at it, I was like, who would you rather have? Would you rather have a guy who, in his career, drafted the same year, okay, 9,000 yards passing, 52 touchdowns, 32 picks, almost 3,000 yards rushing, and 23 touchdowns on the ground? Or would you rather have a guy who has more yards passing, a handful more touchdowns for sure, but also more interceptions by a good chunk, very few yards rushing and only 2 touchdowns rushing rather? Because that's Mac Jones. And Mac Jones has rejuvenated his career. Everybody thinks Fields throws interceptions all the time. Fields has 18 fewer interceptions, rather. He has 18 fewer interceptions than Mac Jones. So, and he's closer in athleticism to Patrick than Mac is. I think he's a good reclamation project. I think he's coming in for like $3 million, so it's cheap for a backup. And I think Andy's going to be able to fix him. So that's that. Now, what I was talking about before was this right here. Oh, why my page is all changed? I hate this when it does that. I'm going to show you right here. I got a draft that I did. I've done a bunch. It's been fun. This draft right here. Okay, in this draft, I was determined, as it says right here, to trade back and definitely not take Jeremiah Love at number 9. In fact, I traded back multiple times. All the way, and the way the draft fell, because the draft falls weird sometimes. If certain guys are there and the team that was one pick away was going to grab goes bye-bye, all of a sudden they're scrambling. Some of them aren't ready for that to happen. And it happens. And like, oh, crap. Who was I going to take it? I'll take this guy. And great players fall. Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, they fell. Like the bottom of the first round, they fell a lot. Okay? A couple of the best quarterbacks in the last 20 years, 30 years. My point is, he fell. Love was there at number 18. Too valuable to pass up. And look at the haul I got. We had Priest Holmes and Larry Johnson once upon a time. What if we went with Walker and Love? That could be pretty sick. So this is what I ended up getting because I got all these extra picks. Tampa Bay traded me a couple times. The Bills once. And the Vikings one time. I ended up getting Jeremiah Love, Hakeem Messidor, who I like better than Bain. Arm length matters. We'll talk about that in a minute. Malachi Lawrence, another long, fast edge from Central Florida. Lee Hunter, Beaston, D-tackle from Texas Tech. Davison Igbinosun, cornerback from Ohio State. Watch his game tape. As flawed and unrefined as he was in 2024, he was equally sharp and awesome and great in 2025. Okay, Derek Moore. No, don't know why more people aren't talking about this edge from Michigan. This guy's going to make some hay. Okay. Ephesians Prysock, I just started watching him recently from Washington. Long, angular, looks like a faster Jalen Watson who he just lost. Okay. Josh Cameron, good receiver, solid, like a brick shithouse, uh, out of Baylor. Like this guy bounces, not just bounces off tackle, like blows people over and keeps going, like a fast. When people say like a running back in a receiver's body, he's like a running back body playing receiver. Mark Bell, just a massive offensive tackle with potential that I think that Andy Heck could refine. And Jeff Caldwell just ran a sick 40. I watched his game tape, and he's like Mike Evans light. So throw a couple of targets in there for Patrick Mahomes. Got 3 edges, a D tackle, multiple cornerbacks, and an offensive tackle to develop. Because I think we have our 5. I think our 5 are Simmons, Suamate, okay, Creed, Smith, and on the right tackle, it's going to be Moore or it's going to be Pole. It might even be Chu Godric. We got 3 guys fighting to be the number 1 swing tackle or the starting right tackle. We're good. We're not. I don't see a guy that goes, oh my gosh, we have to have him at right tackle. We have to take him at pick number 9. I don't think we're taking an offensive tackle in the first round or the first 2 rounds, to be fair, to be honest. Anyway, would you not take that haul if Jeremiah Love is sitting there? Because here's the thing. The ratings, the contracts are predetermined based on draft position. It used to be not, and I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember, but when it was not, it was chaos. It was the Wild West. Guys like Jamarcus Russell, whatever his name was, the quarterback that came out of LSU for the Raiders and just ate their contracts and ate their money and just did nothing. Was a big tub of lard. Got fat, got lazy, did nothing, and made a gajillion dollars because they had no cap on rookie salaries. Okay, they fixed that because even the Players Association was like, wait a minute, we're in here busting our butt for 4 or 5 years to get our first good contract. And these guys that went to the right school and had the right opportunities and did well in college come in and obliterate our contracts, and then some of them do nothing. So, and they handicap a team for the next 5 years. So they got rid of that. What's it turn into? It turns into, if we got him at the 18th spot, Jeremiah Love, because I don't think DeMarcado is our number 2 back. I think he's a rotational. I think he's the third down specialist. I think he's like a little scoot. He's fast. He's fast as F. He had the one big play where he dropped the ball at the goal line as he was going in, and the people eviscerated him for it. Fans eviscerated for him. His coach friggin' abused him on the sideline over it. I don't think that guy drops a ball ever again in his career. And did I mention he's fast? He's a fast kid. He's got a lot of long runs. Anyway, I don't think he's the number 2 back. I think he's not. I don't think he's built for that. I think he's good to be a rotational guy. And if you can get Jeremiah Love at, let's say even 15, something like, I got him at 18, his total contract for 4 years would be $20 million. You kidding me? Averaging $5 million a year. His first year, his cap number, $3.7 million for Jeremiah Love. Yes, please. Even if we took him at 9, it's less than $6 million for the season. He's not too expensive. It's not a waste of assets. You need 2 running backs. I'm old enough to remember when we had Priest Holmes and Larry Johnson at the same time. Priest would be dicing people up, cut, scat, scoot, catch the ball. Oh, he's going to take a blow. Who's coming in? Oh, here comes Larry to just destroy your safety if he comes up to the box. Larry, who could bounce off one tackle and run 98 yards away from everyone. Give me Kenneth Walker and Jeremiah Love, and in Andy's offense, Andy's going to like drive your defense nuts. So it just make the team better. It would just make the team better. There's going to be a certain point. If he falls for some reason, I don't think he will. I don't think he gets past the Cardinals at number 3. Okay, but if he falls for some reason, at some point, you just can't not take the talent. You cannot leave that talent on the board and go, yeah, we didn't draft him. And he goes on to be like one of the league's leading rushers ever, Hall of Fame career. We did this with Jonathan Taylor, okay? I said we should take a running back in the first round that year. Everybody thought it was nuts. You're laughing at me. Okay, we did take a running back that year in the first round. We took Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And the results are in. The cookies are cooked. As Chris Carter would, I don't want to wait on the cookies. Well, the cookies are cooked, Chris. Okay? We saw what CEH has done, and Jonathan Taylor's on his way to a gold jacket. How different might the Chiefs have been if they drafted Jonathan Taylor? So, I don't want to do that again. And for people who haven't played, okay, I've played for 10 years, semi-pro football, okay? I won a couple of those. I won a couple rings. I had a good time. I love football. I know the value of two really good running backs on the same team. It's your backfield doesn't get tired. It's fourth quarter, you're dealing with fresh Kenneth Walker. You're dealing with fresh Jeremiah Love. The Seahawks let Kenneth Walker go because they had him and Charbonnet. And they're probably going to draft a running back this year because now Kenneth is gone. Don't be surprised if they draft a running back in the first 3 rounds, Seahawks. Okay? You want to have, if you can, if it's a luxury, but we're a luxury team. We're not scrambling trying to, those feisty Chiefs trying, no. We're in the elite tier. Okay? For the last decade. We're one of those teams. We're looking for guys that improve our team at whatever spot we pick at. If we get starters, amazing. We want rotational guys that are going to really help this team and really be good. Now, when we're picking at the top like we are now in the top 10, no, I want a starter. I want Pro Bowl. I want numbers. I want a solid contributor. Okay, and there's a handful of guys in this draft who will be. There's one guy who a lot of people think we're going to take who I don't think will be. Not that way. I think he could be a rotational guy. I could see him in the second round. I ain't taking him in the first round. We'll get to that in a second. But getting guys like Jeremiah Love, getting guys like I think Carnell Tate can be one of those guys at wide receiver. Getting guys like, if Caleb Downs' knee wasn't degenerative, I'd say Caleb Downs. But if you have a degenerative ACL and you already have meniscus damage, I'm good. I'm not touching you in the first round. I'm not wasting any time in Patrick Mahomes' career. People that think that running backs don't matter, here's the thing. And people said, oh, we have Kenneth Walker. That's the thing. He's on a 2-year contract. It's 3 years, but the third year is voidable, okay? So we really have Kenneth Walker guaranteed for 2 years. He'll be 27 at that point. Even if we keep him, it's still affordable for the way their contracts would balance out because we don't have to give Jeremiah Love a new contract in year 3. And that would be Kenneth Walker's last year on this contract. And they're both playing great, and we're like, you know what? We're not going to give you another 10, 12, 14 million dollars a year, Kenneth. So you're free to look for another team. We're going to keep Jeremiah Love. We're going to re-sign him in next year or the year after. We're not going to re-sign him now. We're going to draft another running back. Maybe DeMarcado was developed into a number 2. Maybe we got another guy this draft, and he's our number 2 going behind Jeremiah Love. But we give Patrick Mahomes a stability factor he's never experienced. A stable backfield for the next 10 years. Jeremiah Love is 20 years old. If you don't think an athlete like of his type, his caliber, can, barring injury, it's always that, but if he stays healthy, can't play for 10 years, you're kidding yourself. Patrick would be 40 then. Give him the same stud running back for a decade, and the first 3 years of that period, have him learning from Kenneth Walker, and have 2 stud running backs guaranteed. That just makes too much sense. That's not a crazy factor. That's not, oh, you're being nuts. Why would you not give your quarterback that? He has made lemonade out of so many lemons. We're going to build a defense. You're good with these receivers, right, Patrick? You're good with it. It just hasn't been his day as far as weapons to throw to and hand off to. To give him 2 guys like that and then build the offense on the edges afterwards, I want O-line. On offense, I want O-line, backfield, then tight end and receivers. That's what I want to build. Okay? Because if you can't protect your house, what goes on the exterior, on the outside boundaries, doesn't matter because you're never going to get the ball to the boundaries. We've seen that. Okay? Defense, same thing. You want to build D-line and build it out. The guy I was talking about, not to be mean, notice he's not here. His teammate's here. Hakeem Mesidor. Okay? Hakeem Mesidor's arms are over 32 inches long. Ruben Bain, who everybody keeps talking about wanting and keeps saying they're going to have, and he's going to be the guy. Frog Excelsior, good to see you in the chat, sir. People keep saying they want Bain. Bain has arms under 31 inches long. Understand this. Let me get this through everyone's skull, because everyone's being told, they're being sold a bill of goods. If you take Ruben Bain in the top 10, where I want, if I'm drafting an edge in the top 10, I want double-digit sacks. I want Pro Bowl. I want All-Pro. That's what I'm aiming for. You're not promised anything, but I'm hoping, I'm envisioning, I'm seeing that guy could be all three of those things. And here's the hard facts. In over 25 years since the combine's been measuring stuff, know how many people under 31-inch arms have went to the Pro Bowl, have been all pro, have had double-digit sacks? Zero. No one with arms under three. Get this through your thick skulls, pundits out there, because I have a lot of pundits that throw shade at me for this too. Love you guys. Appreciate your work. It's a thankless job sometimes when you're trying to stand on the table for a player. Trust me, I know. No one with arms under 31 inches at edge has ever, never, ever had double-digit sacks, has never, ever been an all-pro, and has never even been a Pro Bowler. Okay? Which is a parting gift for like teams that don't make the playoffs nowadays. This is a fact. If you pick Ruben Bain in the top 10, you're betting. I know no one's ever in the history of the league ever done this, but we think we can make him be the first one. If somebody does that, if he achieves that, I will be happy for him. Whether he's a Chief or not, I don't wish any ill will against Ruben Bain. Do I think Ruben Bain could be a part of this team and be a part of the Sack Nation rotation and get in there and help guys? And in the meantime, if he's not getting sacks, be great against the run? Absolutely. I don't want a run defender at number 9. And I definitely don't want to trade up from 9 for a run defender. I don't want pressures. I don't want tackles of the running back. I want you hitting the quarterback a lot. People talk about pressures at the same time as they crap on George Karlaftis. George Karlaftis is one of the highest rated QB pressure guys in the league since he's been in the league. Okay, go look at the numbers. He's been the leading or tied with the lead or close to the lead in sacks on our team for the last 3 years. So George's not a problem. George signed his contract early. Everyone complained. They're getting way more money now. If he was due now, he'd be on another team. We wouldn't have him anymore. And again, like I said, he's one of the more productive guys on the line. Get a Bailey. Get a Mesidor later in the first round. Get one of those guys. Put him next to Chris Jones with George on the other side. We got Tonga in the middle now. Dude, look out. You want to see Chris's career get rejuvenated? You want to see his numbers blow up again? That's the kind of thing you got to do. You need to get a Tasmanian devil on his outside edge. Ruben Bain is a beast. Ruben Bain could be a really good rotational guy. Ruben Bain, here's the thing. Ruben Bain is more Turk Wharton, okay? He's more Turk Wharton than he is Brian Burns. Numbers-wise, that's what he's going to be, okay? He's not going to be a 10, 12, 15 sack a year guy. He's not going to be one of those guys. He's not. It's never happened. And everyone wants to put all of our chips in the middle of the table at number 9 and go, this guy's different. He'll do it. I'm going to dismiss that because I've got to go pick this person up, like I said. Trust me when I say I've done the research, I've looked it up, I watched the guy's tape. It's fine. He's a good player. He looks good. His teammate looks better. And everyone who says, oh, Mesidor's only making those plays because he's got Bain on the other side. Okay, well, vice versa then. Bain's only making those plays because he's got Mesidor on the other side. Because you know whose stats weren't better than the year before that? Bain's. Their stats increased each year. Mesidor was better each of the last 2 years. Iron sharpens iron. They make each other better. That's unavoidable. George Karlaftis isn't a good defensive end because Chris Jones is there only. That definitely helps. But put a good D tackle in there, which every edge needs, and George is going to shine because he's shown he can do that. Okay? Bain is, it matters. People go, oh, it's only a couple inches. When you have guys who have arms like spider monkeys and weigh 325 pounds blocking you, it's like you're the little brother with the big brother's hand on your shoulder, hand on your forehead, and you're like grabbing it. You can't get a hold of them. You can't get leverage. If they can keep you away from their body, they can keep you away from their quarterback. It's that simple. And it's been proven for 25 years. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just stating facts. And facts don't care about our opinions. They really don't. I'm going to walk out in the street in front of that bus and get hit, and I'm going to be fine. No one's ever done it. Everyone's been injured or killed, but I'll be fine. That's the same logic. No one's ever done that thing. And I'm a heart guy. I walked on when I was 24 after the military at Division I college football. Okay? I believed, you don't know my heart. You can't measure my heart. And I was right. But I also wasn't the leading player at my position on that team either. Because there's a lot of guys who played football their whole life, didn't start when they were 22, and were crushing it, and were great, and were amazing. And I'm going, that guy's better than me. I know. I'm fine with it. But I can definitely contribute to be part of this team and help make this team great. And help my semi-pro teams win championships. I don't discount heart. It matters. It's a big thing. But there are measurables. His arms will never be over 30 inches and change. They'll never be 31 inches or longer. Okay? And that's been a debilitating factor for every edge since the combine started measuring people. Just like if you see a guy that's really, really fast, this was a humbling thing. I'm a pretty fast guy for my size. I was. Pretty strong guy for my size. You know, I'm not short. I'm 6 feet, but I'm not tall. So I was big, strong, and fast, but not the biggest, not the strongest, not the fastest. And I learned at Division I football, there are some guys that just have more fast twitch muscle fibers than you, and you're never, ever, no matter how long you train, going to be as fast as that guy. And I made a comment yesterday on chat. As far as running backs go, there's other backs. We'll get another guy. People keep saying this. You don't need love. And again, likely we don't draft him. Kenneth Walker, I love the signing. I think he's great. I think the contract deal is great for us. I think he was smart to get out of Seattle before they put that luxury tax and start taking millionaires' money away from him. But saying we'll just get another running back when Kenneth Walker's gone, we'll get another guy. First of all, like I said, you keep interchanging guys on Patrick Mahomes. They keep having to learn each other. That sucks. For a quarterback to have to learn what the tendencies and traits of that next running back are, that's why you see Aaron Rodgers get frustrated with guys he hasn't played with before, because they're learning each other, and it's really annoying when you've been a vet for that long and they keep changing your main guy in the backfield. If you can keep that one guy, you can do so many great things. Marshall Faulk, let Kenneth Walker and or Jeremiah Love be the Marshall Faulk to Pat Mahomes, Kurt Warner for the next, Kenneth is 25, 7 to 10 years if we get Jeremiah Love. Okay? Because that stability, that peace of mind, that knowing he's going to be there when you need him. He's going to make that pass pro block. He's going to make that catch in the flat, or he's going to run a seam route because he's that good of a receiver. And by the way, 4.3 speed and change, he's going to run past everyone that's not paying attention for a split second. It matters. Because saying you're going to just get another guy, you're going to get a guy later, I don't care how long you train a guy. I loved Isaiah Pacheco's add to this team for the years he was here. Champ, if you're out there, Isaiah, thank you for the championship rings, bro. He brought a grit, he brought a determination, and here's one factor that will never change. You could have him in training camp for the next 10 years. He's never going to be Christian McCaffrey. Never, ever. He doesn't have the skill set. He doesn't have the physical makeup. He doesn't have the hands. It's just not going to happen. People say, Kenneth Walker's only a 2-down back. Matt out there, Matt, I know you're listening, Matt. You keep calling us like a 2-down back. He can be a 3-down back. Absolutely. He's been a 3-down back at times. He can do it. Just because you don't throw him the ball doesn't mean he can't catch a football. He caught the football when they throw it to him more regularly. He did catch it. He caught it well. Coming out of Michigan State, they said he's not a 3-down back. He doesn't catch the ball. They didn't throw him the ball. You know another guy they didn't throw the ball to at Michigan State? Le'Veon Bell. A receiver in a running back's body. Like, there was no better receiving back during his time than Le'Veon Bell. The big quandary of him not making a contract for a year was he held out because he wanted to get paid like a wide receiver, because he was doing a wide receiver job while playing running back as well. Kenneth Walker can do those kind of things. Okay? And so can Jeremiah Love. And 2 is better than 1, especially when injury bugs come around. I digress. Moving on. I'm going to try to wrap this up pretty quick. Mekhi Lemon, one more reason I don't love him. Reasons I'll list real quick. Didn't love the interview stuff at the combine. Looked like he went on gummies right after they did the medical at the combine. The dude was not there. I don't like that. You want to do creepy demon stares at people? Nah, I'm not interested, bro. There's something interesting. I saw him in an interview with Chris Sims and the PFT guy, Mike Florio, and he looked much more normal there. It was fine. But I didn't like that other look, for one. For two, grew up a Raiders fan. Not loving that. But I can't fault him. It was because of his dad. Okay, fine. But then he had the chance of all chances. You pick one quarterback you want to catch press from. Who are the top three? If you had to pick any quarterback you could catch passes from. Caleb Williams was number one. Okay, they played together at USC. I'll forgive that one. And Caleb's going to develop into a nice quarterback. I got it. But really, Caleb Williams? Okay, that's one. Number two, Jaden Daniels. Okay. I mean, he's a good quarterback. There's still a guy on my list. I'm trying to. There's some guy. I don't know. I think he's number 15, I think. His third quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. If you're the Kansas City Chiefs brass, and the guy's asked three quarterbacks he'd like to catch passes from, and none of them are named Patrick Mahomes, I'm crossing him off my list. Add to that the fact that I watch his tape, he looks like Sky Moore. People that go, oh, come on. You're looking at Sky Moore's career in the NFL, and that's how you're judging it. Go back. The same guys that loved Sky Moore, were crazy about Sky Moore, that were ready to stand on the table for Sky Moore, bless his heart. Keep going on your career, Sky. I wish you the best. Didn't pan out. Are the same guys that are saying the same things about Mekhi Lemon right now. Sky Moore ran a 4.41. Mekhi Lemon at his pro day ran anywhere from a 4.48 to a 4.53, depending on who you ask, which is why he didn't run at the combine. Because let's say he ran his best time from his pro day at the combine, he would be he'd be in the 20s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. There goes his teammate, 4.47, Jacoby Lane. Give me that guy at 6'4", 210. 22, 20. He'd be tied for 23rd, 24th with Jeremy Bernard out of Alabama. 5'11", 194 pounds. I'm good. I want big targets. I want wide wingspans. I want speed for Patrick Mahomes. That's what I want. I'm done. I don't want any more under 6 foot receivers. I don't want guys that can't run as fast as guys that are in the same class as them that are just as good as them, but faster. Why do that? Why? Why settle? We're not that team. We're a luxury team. We're not a scrappy little, we're trying to make things better. No. We had a horrible record. That is not reflective of what this team is capable of and what should have happened last year. Snake bit. That's what our team was last year. Everybody that could get hurt got hurt, including our quarterback. Went through 7 or 10. Was it 10 offensive linemen we went through? Snake bit. That doesn't happen every year. It happens to the Chargers, it seems, every year, but most teams that doesn't happen to. You have a year once in a while where that stuff just, you can't avoid it. And it sucked, and it was a down year. We're moving on. Here's another draft. Oh, okay, this one refreshed as well. I hate when page, oh, I know what it is. I did it. I refreshed the page. So, we lost Leo Chenal. Okay, we talked about this in the chat, and this will be the last thing I get to because I got to get going to pick this person up. We lost Leo Chenal. I love Leo Chenal. I did not want to lose Leo Chenal. All right, let's go on Leo's page right here, his combine page. Leo's awesome. 6'3", 250, 31-inch arms. Okay, not 30 and change, 31. Ran a 4.53, 1.55 split, 40 and a half inch vertical, 10.8 broad jump. His RAS score was 9.99. And the whole time he was at KC, I was just like, I wish they would give him more chances to rush the passer. And one of the knocks, one of the reasons that they're like, well, trepidations about, well, he doesn't have ideal length because his arms are under 32 inches. At 31 inches, his arms are under 32 inches. Running a 4.53 and a 1.55 split, which is great. Ending at 1.59 or under is great. His arms aren't long enough. Okay, well, Ruben Bain's arms are shorter than his. And I guarantee you, Ruben's not running a 4.53. And he's probably not running a 1.55 split. So, again, back to the Bain thing. Probably not in the first round, folks. Not for Kansas City. I hope not. Because they're bucking the whole existence, the history. What do you keep stats for? And what do you do measurables for if not for that? To go, hey, I know only, 6 or 10 offensive tackles who have had shorter arms than they're supposed to have been all pros, great players in the NFL, but they had to move into guard. Okay, well, you got an all pro guard. That's freaking amazing. Okay. But, I know only a handful of corners, guys like Eric Davis, Darryl Green. You got to be a little older to know these names, but I know these names because I've been watching this for a long time. Great players, have been multiple time all pros, have been multiple time Pro Bowlers with short arms like Trent McDuffie. Oh, and then there's Trent McDuffie, more recent. Those are different positions, okay? Defensive end is defensive end. There have been a handful of guys with 31 or 31 and a half inch arms who have been Pro Bowl guys, who have been double-digit sack guys. No one under 31 inches has ever, they've never done it. Never. In over 25 years. So, not top 10. But I wanted to see Leo get chances to rush the passer. He never did. His RAS score was 9.99. There's a guy this year, the only way to beat it is to get a 10, and that's what Sonny Styles did. Let's go compare them. Let's go compare their combines and everything else, because all the numbers are here, but we'll look at it here. They're side by side. Combine results comparison between Leo Chenal and Sonny Styles. So if he's there at 9, I would not have any problem whatsoever. If he's there and like certain guys that I like are not there, this guy, almost, 2.5 inches taller, a little bit lighter, but also faster. Similar split, not the same, but under 1.59, which is excellent. Vertical leap, 3 inches tall, higher, and broad jump, 6 inches longer. He had a 10.0 perfect RAS score. His athleticism off the charts. Oh, and did you know he used to be the safety at Ohio State before Caleb Downs came? And they realized, why do we have a 6'5" guy playing safety? Let's put some meat on him and let him be a psychotic linebacker. Has that ever worked before? I don't know. Brian Urlacher. Yes, it has. Hall of Fame. New Mexico Lobos. Safety. Converted to linebacker. Goes to the NFL with the Bears. Hall of Fame. Thomas Davis. Safety. Goes to linebacker. Tears the league apart as a Panther. Amazing. So I'd have no problems with Sonny Styles whatsoever. I hate losing Leo. Some people said in the chat in our hey, what's going on, Adam? Good to see you, buddy. Always miss you, sir. Ditto. Where was I? I was with the Hall of Fame linebackers. I was talking about that stuff. Adam got me excited. It's good to see you, buddy. This draft, this top 10 pick has got to be a guy that makes a difference. That's got to be a guy. It's got to be a David Bailey. It's got to be an Arvo Reese. It's got to be a Sonny Styles. It's got to be maybe a Carnell Tate. I know there's a lot of Ohio State guys, but they were great. Okay. It's got to be a Jeremiah Love. It's got to be a guy that's with this team for a decade, and it's just a stud. It's just a guy, they get to that second contract, and you don't even blink. Here you go. Here's your contract. Please stay, Chris Jones. It's got to be that kind of a guy, impact-wise, where you go, I don't care what it takes. We're keeping him. Okay? And he could be one of those guys. From safety to linebacker to combine busting freaky testing guy. And then David Bailey, I'll touch on this before I go. There were some people in the chat. Bless you guys. I love you. I appreciate the chat. Again, if you guys don't know, it's called Uplift the Kingdom. It's awesome. Let's see. We've got some people here talking about one people off the team. I don't want to get into that. It's mostly positive. It's 99% positive. If you go in there and you're negative and you complain to one, they're going to kick you out. That's what we don't want that in there. 50% of Chiefs Kingdom. I love you. Bless you. You're negative. You need to improve your life. The other 50%, my people. Always aiming up. I'm always aiming up. Okay. This team is going to reset this year. They're not going to rebuild. They're going to reload. They're going to reset. They're going to come out with a vengeance. And Patrick Mahomes is going to lead the way from week 1. Okay? Allegedly. Talk about somebody did something criminal. Yeah. Speaking of it, Zion Young, not so criminal as you broke the law. It's not good. Our running back room is so good as is, though. It does suck. We don't bring back Hunt, though. Our running back room is good and could be great. Okay, it's very good right now. It's very good. It's very. Don't get me wrong. It's very good. I love what Kenneth Walker is going to mean to this team. Okay, but gets back to the edges. I want to go down the running back trail again. David Bailey. Somebody in that chat, Uplifted Kingdom, had said he's a mid athlete at best. Please don't say stuff like that. Okay. Tell me you haven't watched the tape or don't understand the tape without telling me you don't watch or understand tape. Okay. 4.5 40, 1.62 split, 10.9 broad jump, 35-inch vertical is okay, but his 10.9 broad jump is awesome. At 6'4, 33 and a 3/4 inch long. You know, that lever is like so long. That's like, I'm here, I'm Ruben Bain, I'm here, and this is David Bailey. I'm off the screen. That's getting that offensive tackle away. Getting that offensive tackle where you want him, not where he wants you. Not letting him bat you backwards, not letting him I digress. David Bailey's going to be awesome. Okay? So if one of these guys are there, going back to looking at one of the drafts that I had, if I could find it. Okay? Well, let's just go to the draft page, and I'll just show you guys really quickly what happens, okay? We're picking 7th. I'll put PFF in there because that's one of the ones a lot of people go to. Okay, Chiefs, and we'll enter it. And this will be the last thing I'll do. I mean it this time. Fernando Mendoza, shocker. There goes Ruben Bain at number 2, so forget him. Caleb Downs, David Bailey, gone. Sonny Styles, gone. Makai Lemon, Arvo Reese, Jeremiah Love. Almost fell to us, didn't. I'm going to reject all the trades. Who are you taking right here? Not offensive tackle. Colonel Tate, maybe. Mansard Lane, maybe. Jermond McCoy, maybe. Caleb Banks, I don't think I want to go D-tackle yet. And I love Dylan Thieneman. I love the speed. He's not better than these guys up here. Okay? Personally, I think there are a lot of receivers in the draft that are going to surprise people and be really good in this first season. There are not a lot of Mansard Lanes. Mansard Lane is my number 1 corner. He was one of the first guys I watched, and I was like, this guy's great. I'm going to put it at number 1 over the 2 or 3 other guys I watched. I watched a bunch of guys since then. There are 4 or 5, maybe 6 other guys. I'm like, wow, these guys are really good. No one's taken the number 1 spot away from Delane. Okay? So I would take him. Boom, right there. So adding Mansard Delane to the pack, these are the ones everybody talks about. Bain, Downs, Bailey, Styles, Lemon, Reese, and Jeremiah Love. Okay? All of which could be gone before it gets to us. But Cardinal Tate's still there. Mansard Lane's still there. Okay? Some people are high on Keldrick Falk. Some people are out on Keldrick Falk. I love Hakeem Mesidor. I'm not taking him that high. Because of these other guys. That's it. People complain about his age. He's going to be 25 this year. Ruben Bain's going to be 22. That's a 3-year gap. People were saying we had to sign Rico Dowdell, who's 28, or Etienne, who's Travis Etienne. Want to respect the name. By the way, if you didn't hear, that's how he pronounces his name. He was afraid to mention it. It's Travis Etienne. So, and it makes sense if you look at the way his name's spelled and you know French. But he's 27. Both guys have injuries. Kenneth Walker's 25. Jeremiah Love is 20 years old. And people were saying we'd never draft Jeremiah Love pre-Kenneth Walker signing. They were saying it. I'm like, why are you going to sign a guy who's 25, 27, 28 over drafting a guy who's 20, but you have to have the guy who's 22 because you can't get the guy who's 25 and had better stats on the same team? Made no sense. It is what it is. A lot of people in the chat. What's going on? Lenny the Cool, good to see you, sir. Finally catching me live. Well, it's a weird time that I'm doing it. I don't usually do it this early, so I'm mad. I was mad we didn't get Arnold Ebiketie too. AJ Epinesa, I'm like, I don't know. But Ebiketie, I was like, I think Ebiketie, again, another example of like the Romello height people were talking about in the chat, possibly getting him. If you don't know, again, once more time, on X, Uplift the Kingdom, check out the chat. It's a really good chat. Arnold Ebiketie is closer to a Romello height size. It's not a Spags guy. Spags likes him taller or bigger in the pants, or I don't know what it is, but he's just certain guys. And to be fair, I love David Bailey. He might be borderline for Spags. I don't know what Spags is looking for. I mean, I think Bailey. I think you'd see Bailey and go, yeah, we could do that for sure. But it could be borderline if you if you want to be strict about the size. But a guy like Mansard Lane, 6 foot, 180, about 190, let's say, we lost 3 corners. We were never paying Trent McDuffie $30 million a year. Okay. The fact that we could have paid Jalen Watson $15 million means, and we didn't, means that they saw guys in this draft they think can replace him. Okay. I think there's a handful of guys that can. The fact that we didn't sign Brian Cook for big money, too much money, and they see the guys that can replace him in this draft. And finally, if you know David Merritt, we got guys in house that he likes. I guarantee you Dave Merritt went to the coach and went, we're fine. We're fine. We got I had one draft where we drafted 3 corners and a safety. They're not all going to start. It's highly unlikely. If they all start, it means Dave Merritt's not a very good coach. Because that means Noel Williams and all these other guys are not worth anything, which is not the case. Those guys can play ball. They just need their chance. Okay? So I know it's exciting times. I know it's stressful times. When people tell you Ruben Bain, Caleb Downs, David Bailey, Sonny Styles, Mekhi Lemon, Arvo Reese, Jeremiah Love, Mansur Delane, Carnell Tate, fill in 2 or 3 offensive linemen here or there, get you up to 10, 12. You can't fit 12 players in the 7 spots between number 1 and number 9. We picked number 9. Everyone knows the Raiders are taking Mendoza. 99.9999 off the charts. Chance they take Mendoza. Shock the world if they didn't. Make no sense if they didn't, to be fair. Okay? There's only 7 picks. You can't squeeze everybody in those 7 picks. Someone's going to slide to us. Okay? The question is, do we take them? Is it someone we really want? Do we trade down? Maybe Spags is sitting there going, you know what? I think we can get Mesidor at 17, and if we trade back, we can get 3 more picks. Maybe we can go from 9 down to like 15, and then get a second and a third, or a third and a fourth. Would you take that? I would. If that dude can be as productive as he was in college, which was more productive than Ruben Bain, I'll take him. More productive in tackles, more productive in sacks. Okay? People talk about pressures. That's nice. At some point, you got to put a guy on the ground. You can't just have the potential to put a guy on the ground. You got to put him on the ground. Sacks and tackles are undefeated. Okay? You can throw a touchdown while you're being pressured. You can also throw a pick while you're being pressured. That's what everybody's looking at. But you can throw a touchdown while you're being pressured. If you don't think pressures are less impactful than sacks, you haven't watched Mahomes' friggin' highlight reel. Because how many of his touchdowns has he thrown or ran in when he was being pressured? It's like, oh, you're going to pressure me? Okay, Tennessee, I'm going to run like 27 yards around everybody, fake going out, and then stay in and score a touchdown in a playoff game and kick you guys to the curb. How about that? If you sacked him, he doesn't get to do any of those things. He's sacked. It's done. Okay? So, tackles for loss, also love those. I put TFLs over pressures. Pressures are defeatable. TFLs, you're tackled and it's for a loss. You just don't happen to be the quarterback. You know, unless you're a running quarterback, then they might call a tackle of Lamar Jackson behind the line. They might call it a tackle for a loss. Just as good as the sack. You lost the down. You lost yardage. Let's go. Okay? So it is what it is. I got to get going. Trade down is possible, for sure. For sure. Like I said, that draft I showed you guys right here, if you didn't see it already, Lenny the Cool, I traded back twice trying to avoid Jeremiah Love. He was there at 18, which means we get him for $3.7 million for his first year of his contract, $20 million over 4 years. Sign me up. Still got Mesidor. Still got Malachi Lawrence out of UCF. 2 great edges. Got a great defensive tackle, one of the best in Lee Hunter out of Texas Tech. Igbinosun, Ephesians Prysock, 2 excellent corners. Another great edge in Derek Moore, who's being totally underrated right now. And a big, thick, strong receiver who can run. And Jeff Caldwell, who just blew up the friggin' 40 at 6'5" and 210. And a freakishly huge human at offensive tackle for Miami, who was, real close to winning it all. So, things could happen. It could get weird. It could get fun. It could get crazy. We'll see. Only time will tell. People are going to slide. People you don't expect to slide are going to slide. Some people will slide all the way out of the first round. Some people you don't expect, Ty Simpson, will jump all the way into the first round, maybe in the top 15. The draft gets nuts. It gets nuts. If you're a fan of this channel and have been for a while, hit like and subscribe. If you have other friends that you want to share the channel with, please share with other friends. I never remember to say this till the end of my show, and sometimes not at all. But if you've been a fan of this channel for a while and you watch me on draft nights, you know that I have great accuracy in that first round. That first round, I can almost name the guy in like 50 to 70% of the picks. And I can usually name the side of the position in 75+% of the picks. And I'll name the side of the ball at least in like 90%. I haven't seen anybody who's had by the time that night comes around, I will be locked in. I will know. I will have a good feeling of who's going where. And there'll always be somebody that's just like, wow, didn't see that coming. That was like, that guy at that position this early? Wow, that guy fell that late? It happens to everybody. Draft's undefeated. So, hope you guys got some information out of this you can use. It's a great looking draft, Lenny. You're not wrong. It's a very great looking draft. This draft is, like Louis Riddick said, not full of stars. It's got a handful of starters, and it's full of studs that can. Sorry, a handful. It's got a handful of stars, but it's loaded with starters. There's a lot of starter potential in this draft. Don't sleep on it. Oh, and the last thing I forgot before, I was mentioning twice, people in the chat, once again, Uplift the Kingdom. Great chat on X. Mentioned previous drafts. They said, oh, I hope it's not as bad. One of the worst was 2022. 2022 draft was when we built our 3-in-a-row Super Bowl team. Okay? Trent McDuffie, George Karlaftis, Sky Moore, Brian Cook. Sky Moore, as much as he wasn't great, did score a touchdown in the Super Bowl. Brian Cook, Leo Chenal, Joshua Williams, all contributors. Darian Kennard was the only outlier that didn't really do anything for us. Didn't really pan out. Jalen Watson, Isaiah Pacheco, and Najee Johnson has had some good plays, had some bad plays. That was a great draft. That was that was a plant my flag, I'm a great executive in the NFL, Brett Veach draft. And some people think that draft sucked. So I don't know what to say. I can't help you guys. If you guys look at that draft and go, that's a good chunk of the nucleus of a team that went to 3 straight Super Bowls, and you say that draft sucked, I don't think you know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. Hate to break it to you. You're taking crazy pills, not me. All right? It could turn out like that. It could turn out better. Go to the big channel real quick. The big page, as it were. And just let you guys know this. I'll be here for you through the rest of this free agency. I'll be here for you guys through the draft. I know we're in a weird little set right now. This is not my photos aren't up, my images aren't up, my drawings aren't up from Caitlin Snelling. It is what it is. I got to get going. I'm already late to pick this person up. They're gonna be freaking at me. I'm sorry. It's life. We can get caught up with stuff. You know me with the Chiefs chat. It's been an hour and 8 minutes. With that, I'm going to tell you guys adieu. I wish you the best. Have a great day. Relax. Breathe. The draft is going to be good. The team is on the way to being great again. Patrick Mahomes will be back. We'll be awesome. And go Chiefs.